In the previous movie, we added some new code to the .htaccess file on our server to prevent web access to the includes bundled with WordPress. This prevents malicious code from sneaking its way into WordPress itself and embedding itself in the application. Now that we've added that code, we need to do the same for the wp-config.php file. Now, if you're not familiar with this file, let me open it in my text editor so you can see why this file is important. w-config.php is the file that allows WordPress to talk to the database. And this file is really important because it's the file that contains all the access information to the database. You'll remember when you set up WordPress originally, you had to enter in the database name, a database username, a database password, and a database table prefix. All this data is then stored in a new file WordPress creates called wp-config. And that means if some hacker managed to gain access to that file, they'd be able to see what the database name is, the database username is, the database password, and also the host name and the table prefix. In other words, you do not want anyone to be able to access the wp-config.php file. And just like we did with the includes, we can block access to this file using some simple expressions in .htaccess. So first, I'm going to go back to .htaccess, and I'm going to add in this directly under the module I already added to redirect traffic from the includes. Next, I'll go back to my code snippets and navigate to 3.2. And here we have a tiny little piece of code that only targets wp-config. So I can paste that code in now. And here you see something familiar. Order, allow, deny, just like it says up here, and then deny from all. So what this code is saying is, if you try to gain access to wp-config.php, you are denied. No one can gain access to this file from the web. The only way to gain access to the file is through the file server itself, meaning you have to get in through a server administration tool, or through Git or some other version control, or through FTP or SFTP. You simply cannot access wp-config from the web. So by simply adding these 4 lines of code, you've now completely blocked access to that file, and you no longer run the risk of anyone ever being able to tunnel in and pull that data out and then get direct access to your server. Just like before, once you've added this code to htaccess, save the file, push it back up to your host, and then go to your site, reload the front end, and reload the back end to make sure that everything still works. If everything works, everything is great. If something goes wrong here and you can no longer access the server, just go back into htaccess, take the code out, and reload and see that it works again.